What's this? A letter for me.
Welcome to another episode of Remember the Great Sports Through the Mail Thursdays. Today I'm going to share with you a couple returns that I got back in the mail recently and profile each of the individuals that signed for me. So I'm happy to announce that one of these is a new project and one of these is completing a project, and you'll see what I'm talking about when I get to that person. But we'll talk a little bit about the new project first. And what that new project is trying to get this 1972 Rookie Stars Rangers card signed by all three players. So the first person to sign this is Bill Fahey, and Mr. Fahey signed that card along with a 1989 Topps as him as a coach. He also wound up signing 1983 Topps and a 1978 Topps as well. So I had all these cards in my collection. I have written Mr. Fahey before in the past. However, I didn't realize that he was on that card until I saw it on somebody else's video. I'm not really sure who this is rounding the back, but if anybody can comment on that and say, hey, that's so-and-so, giving Mr. Fahey, the handshake there as he's rounding the bases, I'd appreciate that, because it'd be nice to try to maybe get that signed by somebody, the second player on that card as well. So let me tell you about Mr. Bill Fahey and his career in baseball. So Bill grew up in Michigan. He actually was drafted by the Baltimore Orioles in the 13th round of the 1968 draft out of Redford Union High School. However, he decided not to sign and instead attended St. Clair County Community College in Port Huron, Michigan. But at St. Clair County, he was actually drafted in the 1970 draft by the Washington Senators in the first round. Well, after signing his professional contract, he appeared in 118 games in A-ball for the Senators single A affiliate. The next year in 1971, he would move up and appear in 103 games between Double A and Triple A for the Senators, but would get a call after some pretty good success to make his major league debut on September 26th, right before the end of the 1971 season. He would get to start that game. However, in 4 at-bats, he would go 0 for 4 and have a 0 stat line. Bill would appear in one more game where he would get 4 more at-bats, and still, without a hit, he would end the 1971 season with a 0 batting average in those 2 games. Well, the next year in 1972, he would spend the bulk of the season, 75 games, in AAA, and after a decent showing in AAA, where he posted a .270 batting average, he again found himself in the major leagues. However, in 39 games, he batted just a sparse 168 in that 1972 season. Well, 1973, he would spend the entire year in AAA. 1974, he would spend the majority of the year in AAA, appearing in 6 games, however, in the majors in 1974. By 1975, he was up with the Texas Rangers. I guess I should step back a second here. When he made his debut in 1971, it was actually with Washington, and then they moved to Texas in 1972, right there. So he actually technically made the move across the country when the Rangers, relocated from Washington. So in 1975, he was primarily used as the backup catcher for the Rangers, backing up Jim Sundberg from basically 1975 through basically 1978. He was then traded to the San Diego Padres, where he then would become a backup catcher to Gene Tennis from 79 to 80. And then after that, he would get traded to his hometown team or home state team, the Detroit Tigers. He would back up Lance Parrish as the backup catcher for the last 3 years of his playing career. So in total, Bill would appear in 383 games over an 11-year career in the major leagues. He spent the majority of his season with the Texas Rangers, the team that originally drafted him. After his playing career, he would get into coaching, actually, and he would coach in the Detroit Tigers farm system until 1983, where he would make a stint with the Detroit Tigers after his retirement from a player as a coach. And then he would serve under Roger Craig from 1986 to 1991 as the San Francisco Giants coach. So Another thing to note about Bill, his son Brandon actually played in the major leagues briefly. Brandon played for the Baltimore Orioles back around 2006 through 2008. So this is another father-son duel that technically played in the major leagues. Although a lot of people don't remember Brandon, some of you may remember Bill because he caught, like I said, for 11 years in the major leagues. So we'll move on to the next return. And as I mentioned, the next return is the completion of a project. And if you guys remember, this 1972 Rookie Stars card is now completed with the final edition of Dave Rader. Previously, I'd gotten Chris Arnold and Jim Barr to sign that card. So Mr. Rader signed that card along with a couple other Topps cards of him in catching action. Well, he's not really in action. There's a Red Sox. But he also included a devotional Christian card as well. So this was included by Mr. Rader in the package. You know, like I like to call these devotional cards. So I'm not going to read that to you, but I want to thank Mr. Rader for including that. I guess the main thing to read is the verse at the end. You know, right there. Whoever calls on the name of Lord shall be saved. So, all right. So let me tell you about Dave Rader and his career in baseball. Dave Rader, born in Oklahoma, however relocated to California and was drafted by the San Francisco Giants in the first round of the 1967 draft out of Bakersfield, California. At just 18 years old, he went to the rookie ball affiliate of the Giants in 1967, where he appeared in 58 games between the rookie ball and A-ball affiliates. From 1968 to 1971, he would move up through the Giants minor league system. In 1971, he would get a late September call-up, where he would make his major league debut on September 5th, where he appeared as a pinch hitter in that first game. He would catch in a couple more games that year in 1971, and in 1972, he would win the starting catching position with the Giants. At 23 years old, Rader caught 133 games his first full season in the majors, posting a .259 batting average with 6 home runs. He would be the Giants' mainstay catcher through the 1974 season, and then we would be delegated to part-time duties from 1975 to 1976. After the 1976 season, Rader would be packaged in a deal to the St. Louis Cardinals that netted the Giants 3 other players, including John Curtis, who I've done a video on before in the past. He would just play that one season in St. Louis, appearing in 66 games, and after that season in St. Louis, the Cardinals would then trade him to the Chicago Cubs for another catcher, Steve Swisher. He would then spend one season with the Cubs in 1978, appearing in 116 games, being their primary catcher. And after that season with the Cubs, they decided to trade him to the Philadelphia Phillies in another package deal. He would spend 1 year at the Phillies, and then right before the season started for the Phillies, he would be traded to the Boston Red Sox in the 1980 season. He would appear in 50 games as the backup catcher for the Red Sox that season, and then after a 10-year career in the major leagues and 846 games, Dave Rader would call it a career. One of the biggest highlights of the career was Rader was the Giants catcher on August 24th, 1975, when Ed Halacki pitched a no-hitter against the Mets. In his 10-year career, he had over 2,400 at-bats and posted a .983 fielding percentage, which is pretty darn good for a catcher. So I want to thank Mr. Rader for finishing this project for me of this 72 card. But more importantly, I want to thank Mr. Fahey for starting a new project on the 72 Rangers rookie card. I also want to thank Mr. Rader for including his devotional card. I want to thank Mr. Fahey for signing the rest of his cards as well. I also want to thank all of you for taking the time to watch this episode and learn about some players that you may not have known about in the past. I look forward to your comments below, and as always, happy collecting.